This is the Criterion Creeps podcast, and tonight we've got two movies for you. All
Really?
in one spine number, RJ.
Double duty.
Double duty is right. And first up, well, The Lower Depths from 1936, directed by Jean Renoir.
Sure.
Number one in the Criterion Collection.
It's number one?
Well, he's number one. Grand Illusion.
Spine number one?
Yeah.
What was the other Renoir we watched again? Brampton Comes Alive?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can't remember.
The tagline.
Sure.
From the world-famous play by Maxim Gorky.
That sounds as real as Jared Berger.
Inhabitants of a flophouse struggle to survive under the harsh treatment imposed by the landlord, Kosleva.
Could you repeat that name for me, bud?
Kosleva.
Kosleva? Kosleva. Is that what it is? Is this guy Russian?
Yes.
Kosleva.
RJ. Gorky is a Rushki.
Gorky?
Gorky.
Old Gorky, that son of a bitch.
One resident, young thief Waska Pepple, ends his affair with the landlord's wife, Vasilisa, and takes up with her sister, Natasha. Pepple also befriends the Baron, a former nobleman fallen on hard times. But Pepple's attempts at happiness are complicated when he's accused of murder by a spiteful Vasilisa.
Damn. There's a lot going on in this thing.
Oh, so much.
Have you checked out Maxim Gorky's Letterboxd account, Jarrett?
I have not.
You should check it out because you should see this picture of this guy. He kind of looks like Russian Charles Bronson.
What? No,
a little bit. His mustache isn't thin enough, but like, look at the eyes and the cheeks, the structure. You got to check out Maxim Gorky and
cast and crew. I don't see him here. What's going on?
He's underwritten, but he's like name number 6 or something.
The fuck? You're wasting my time.
Writers.
You're just wasting my time here.
You just check out Maxim Gorky.
I will.
He looks like he's in an American Pickle.
God damn it.
You know what I mean?
American Pickle. Yeah. Timely.
Looks like.
He's not even got a credit under the Lower Depths Kurosawa movie. What the fuck?
He's credited under the genre.
But how is he not credited for the 36 thing?
I don't know.
This site, I tell you, is
I guess because the Kurosawa kind of maybe Renoir's way closer to the actual story.
Oh my god!
You see this, man? You seeing this?
A little bit.
Yeah, he kind of right. It took me back seeing a picture that old on Letterboxd because this guy was clearly alive in 1700.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So, anyways. What were you talking about?
I was talking about The Lower Depths.
Okay.
From the 1936s.
Which one?
Well, this one. So, this movie.
Sure.
It occupies a space of time, approximately 90 minutes. It is based on a play written by Maxim Gorky that apparently was very beloved.
It's world famous.
It is world famous. Very much so. Some say this is an example of poetic realism, something that people say about Jean Renoir in French 1930s movies, often. We've got the old Jean Gabin. He's back. He's back. Jean Gabin.
Oh, the hair from Grand Illusion?
Yeah. The coif.
The coif, do you mean?
Yeah.
He's also in Peppa the Shit.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He wasn't in Rules of Engagement, though. Not Rules of Engagement. Rules of the Game.
I don't think he was in Rules of Engagement either, Jarrett.
No. We
He
wish.
could have been.
He was in the Tommy Lee Jones role.
He would have been pretty good at that, even though he always kind of looks like there's this weird thing about him. I don't know. It's like his lips stick out a little bit.
It's actorly. It's
okay.
Screen.
That's what that is.
Screen presence.
Wow. Huge.
So, The Lower Depths, it opens up, and it feels very like 1930s. there's boardrooms, there's men in suits admonishing others, and it's like, hey, you're a baron.
What does that mean, Jer?
You have a lot of money without having to work for it. You just kind of get given it because you get born into it. So this guy, what's his name? This actor's name?
The Baron?
Yeah, I found
Louis Jouvet.
Yeah, Jouvet. He has a great face in this. I think
he's from Quai de Oufra.
Yeah, there you go.
From Henry George Clouzot.
There you go.
Yeah, this guy's got a great face. He's got
great.
He's like.
He's a highlight. He's a definite highlight. He looks exactly like the trope of a kind of piece of shit baron.
Oh yeah, he's got a real bird face. Like he looks like he's like gonna eat some seed, right in front of you.
He looks like a caricature of this.
Kind of like Maxim Gorky.
Mm-hmm. So the whole start of this movie is like all a setup to get you to what the bulk of the play is, which is hanging out in the flop house.
Yep.
Hanging out in the boarding house and the ins and outs, the romance.
Ooh.
I really didn't know what the plot of this movie was as I watched it. I mean, I saw this movie.
Sure you did.
But a lot of the time I was kind of like, what's going on now? And it's like, I kind of got the broad strokes of it. I'm like, is this enough for a movie? Is this like, is it, because it seems it seems like, Renoir was looking at this material, the play, and liked that this at the moment, it's the 1930s. You could say the French left has
the radical left.
Well, the French left, they're like kind of siding with the Rushkies, and they're like, hey, we got to talk. We got to be looking into our hearts. Look at this example of social realism in play form. We're going to make a movie about it and make it like, hey, we got to tell the story of the poor.
Sure.
And so there's kind of like a mixed bag of these character types and this melodrama of like a love triangle.
Yeah, allegedly.
Alleged. Yeah, there's some pretty interesting things about the actress who plays
like in real life, Susie Prim? Not
Susie Prim. I think it's
Jani Holt.
It might be Jani Holt.
I know all these people offhand.
Oh no, it's the one. It's the who plays Natasha, Juni Astor.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah. Renoir he really dumped on her hard. He said like
Kubrick style.
Well, after they filmed, saying she's just like blank. Her face brings nothing to the screen. She's just there. She's terrible. Like he was.
It sounds like he leaves comments on YouTube videos
anonymously.
Yeah, just JR, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's just bland. Well, we offers nothing."
We actually did get a good YouTube comment.
What?
That was complimentary to RJ.
No.
Yeah, on our Samurai trilogy. What? Why is there hate for these dudes? They're awesome. Ha ha. RJ is hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the first time anyone's ever said anything positive about you ever.
Completely vindicated, validated. I feel refreshed, Jarrett. Let's do 800 more spines. I'm ready. It is the first time I've ever received a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And just think, folks, we'll be bringing our A game like tonight to like all those 800 episodes coming.
My God, I had no idea, and it 100% was not me who left that. Not at all.
Nope.
No chance.
No chance.
Okay, so tell me more about how you experienced the lower depths by Jean Renoir.
There was moments where I was admiring the film craft because people, Orson Welles loves this Jean Renoir guy. Sure. There's definitely some limitations, like actual physical, technical limitations to some of the things he was doing, where the camera is literally shaking as he's moving it around on tracks, and it's like vibrating. Like there's like that opening scene where like the camera's kind of from the perspective of the Baron, and it's kind of or of like the voice that's kind of telling him, and it's moving around. And you see the reflection of the mirror, the guy talking to him. It's all very like, oh, cool. He's trying some stuff out, but you're also taken out of it because the camera is just shaking. And then there's these like other really like complicated shots, I guess, for the time, where cameras are moving in and out of the spaces. These like tracking shots, and you're like, oh, neat. But
it's I know exactly what you're saying. Like there's the one where it's zooming in, and it's like bobbing and shaking, and it almost looks like it cuts up and then cuts up. And I mean, this is an 84-year-old movie, so it's like I get it, but it does kind of it's a little herky jerky.
A little herky jerky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, continue.
But yeah, so the story amounts to, and it's not going to be that far off from the Kurosawa version. Guy likes girl and likes another girl, but it's like this all is like you're kind of like, but they really focus in on this relationship stuff while not really giving you a ton to like care specifically about this scenario, other than it's the story. But I felt that other than it looked really nice, it's staged very nicely. I remember not much about this movie, even like 3 days later.
You want me to hit you with the hard recap?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, we got Pepel, John Gabin.
Yep.
That's our lead actor. You'll remember him from Spine Number 1, The Grand Illusion. You've probably never gotten that information before, Jared. I'm a wealth of information.
A font.
So we have a thief. He is living in the flop house, like you said, and the movie is opened up. You have this lady who is like his fence, but they had an affair once and she wants him back, but he doesn't really want to do it. Yeah. And you're unsure of their relationship. And then you have the town drunk coming in who's a real asshole, just playing his accordion, trying to wake people up. Like,
oh, he's a horrible drunk too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's just, like that's some real bad drunk acting.
Bad drunk. You want to see good drunk acting? You come hang out with me and Jarrett for a little while. We'll show you what's up. Yeah, he's bad. He's like flopping around, and he's like, I don't know. He's like just the idea of the character. You're like, who is this? It's like you can't tell me that there wasn't one person who just lost it on that guy and would like rip up that accordion and just like beat the shit out of him because he's like middle of the night. He's like, I'm gonna wake everyone up. What an asshole. So he comes in, wakes everyone up, and then you discover Pepel, John Gabin. He is with that girl, and then you get the older man, Costoliva. He sees this, it's his wife, and he says, and he's going to beat that girl up a little bit. And then you're also introduced to the he drops a ton of like hard bitch whores in this movie. I screenshot a couple. I was like, whoa. He's like, you bitch whore. I was like, god damn, for 1936 this is pretty rough language, Jarrett. So then you also see the sister is there. So girlfriend, she's like, hey Pepel, you're a thief, maybe you could like we could do something together and get this old man out of here. And he's like, I don't really want to. He's like, but your younger sister. Oof. So he goes out. He's trying to steal from some people. You get introduced to the Baron Louis Jouvet. He's gambling. He's not having a lot of luck, Jarrett. No. And he's just like he's very accepting of it. He's like, whatever. Who gives a shit? You find out that his entire estate is being dissolved.
He's got some ennui going on.
Ennui, a little toot sweet, even if you know what I'm talking about. He goes home. You find out all of his stuff is getting repossessed the next day. He's not a baron anymore, but he's got a really fat butler, and that guy's pretty cool. And he asks his butler, he says, hey, have you ever – oh, actually, it comes later. But he goes, you ever laid in the grass? And the butler says, no, such a thing would be beneath me. But you can tell Louis Jouvet's like, what is wealth, Jarrett? So Pepel comes, tries to rob him, and the baron is like, go ahead, steal it all. He's like, I don't give a shit. He's like, want some food? And he goes, what do you mean want some food? They become friends. Because Baron's like, none of this stuff is mine anyways. You might as well take it. I don't care. And then he sees what a different man is living like. And he's like, you know what? Maybe one day we'll meet again. They have a little friendship. All Baron's stuff gets taken away. Guy gets arrested. Pepel. Baron goes, bails him out. He says, maybe we'll see each other again one day. And then it's like a day later. He shows up at the flop house. He's like, I got to live here. I don't got no money no more. And he becomes a tramp, I believe. Then you're introduced to some of the characters on Flophouse. You have the alcoholic. You have the actor. That might be the same person, actually. You have a lady who cries a lot. You have one dude who does not know how to sweep, because if you watch him sweeping, the broom never actually touches the ground. You see the hardships of these people. Oh, some stuff happens. You see the old man. He's beating people up a lot. He's beating up those girls a lot, and then everyone he is, and then everyone at one point has it, and there's a lynching, and all of the lower depths people rise up and they beat the shit out of this guy and they kill him.
Yep.
And then was it Juni?
Kind of crack his head off of the anvil.
Yeah,
but kind of like in this like off-camera way, and you just see this body, and it's like
there's like 9 people. Yeah, there's like a bunch of people pushing, and then it's like his neck broken on stuff, and they want to arrest someone, but there's no one to arrest. Oh, I forgot to mention the younger daughter gets married off to the local police, so that the police won't bust the flop house because they're doing illegal stuff or something. So he comes, he wants to arrest them. Everyone's like, they do the Spartacus thing. They're like, we all pushed him. And then he's like, well, I guess that's the end of that case. And then John Gabin and what's her name? They live happily ever after.
Or there's a suicide.
Oh yeah, the actor kills himself.
No.
Because I think because he's the alcoholic. His insides are poisoned from consumption, or not consumption. That's not alcoholism. From alcohol.
He's pickled. He's pickled.
Yeah. That guy's real sad. And then everyone lives happily ever after. And it's a great way to stay in shape.
Yes. Everything ends happily ever after.
So I understand why you are very just like, what, like you can't even remember it, because I almost forgot that whole 20 minutes of where they marry off that girl to the policeman.
Right.
Until I was talking about it just now, I forgot that even happened.
Yep.
Here's the thing, Jarrett, and I'll play my hand a little bit early. I think this lower depths and the other lower depths together make one really good movie, but separate. They have good parts, but they also have a lot of not good parts.
Yeah.
So here's the things I like about this one.
Okay.
I think the friendship in this one is really good. I actually kind of like it between the Baron and Papel.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Those scenes are awesome. And the friendship itself, like it's something that's definitely missing in the Kurosawa one.
Male bonding?
Male bonding, Jarrett. It's just like Wild Hogs.
No.
It is. I actually do like it quite a bit, though, because I think that friendship should be the movie, and I don't think it should be all this stuff with the affairs and this lady or that lady, because I think that stuff's not executed as well. But the friendship between the Baron and Papel, that's good stuff. I like that quite a bit.
That's the most convincing part.
Yes. Yeah. The Baron's awesome, like you pointed out too. Like that dude rules. He's I don't know, he's just got like this, he's got presence, Jarrett.
Yeah.
That's what Jean Renoir was probably talking about. So their friendship's really good. I think the lynching in this movie is done better. When the guy actually dies, because it is like a full crowd beating up an old man. And the setup to that scene is actually, I think, pretty well done. Like it's really effective, where everyone's just kind of hanging out, and then you just hear a woman screaming, and then like it's like someone just smacking a table with like a cord or something like that. Yeah. Because and then you don't know what's going on. You're like, oh, that chick's getting beat up, crazy. So I think the setup to that is done a lot better. But the things that this movie doesn't do well is that all that stuff with the cop, I think, is even at 90 minutes, like I forgot that even happened. And like when I was watching the movie, I was watching, and then when they get married, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? Because it's not a hard movie to follow, but I was like, how did we get here? Like, what is going on? Where is this movie going?
That's what I mean. Like, there's no plot to the movie, which is like, it's not the worst thing in the world for a movie not to have a plot, but this feels like that's an important element to it. But you're kind of like, I feel like there's like something missing, like in terms of like bringing you along for that, to explain why things are happening, where you're like, oh, hey, I actually am invested in this to a point. It's just like, oh no, that's happening now because it's what we're citing. You're like, well, that's bad storytelling.
Yeah. Well, 100%. And like, I think that's why the friendship sticks out so much, because that actually, you feel there's something there that's real. But then even all the setup about him, like him using them as like a fence for his stolen stuff, like even that, you're just like, what? You're like, what does that even matter? Like, it's irrelevant to the story. Kind of. Like other than like he's a thief and he meets the Baron that way, but like his relationship with the landlords as them being a fence, like I didn't think it even mattered. So it was like, why is that even in here? It doesn't matter at all.
Because I guess it has to get to back to the boarding house, I guess.
The boarding house, which even like I found, I don't know, it's very different. Like Kurosawa was 100% in the boarding house. This one, I felt like it was present a little bit, but like almost not even there at all. We forgot to mention that the accordion guy, the drunk, he takes a full header off of those stairs.
He sure does.
So that was good. Yeah, I thought the border, like I didn't even, because when I was watching this, I was like, what the fuck does the lower depths mean? Because like you see that guy go down there, but you don't actually see people living there until like, I don't know, 30 minutes into this movie, I think.
Yeah, it's a whole setup, and then you get to the lower depths, because otherwise you're like, what's going on?
Yeah,
but then it definitely snaps more into place when you watch Kurosawa's.
Do you want to transition?
Sure, let us transition. So
transition lenses.
That's right. So yeah, the other film on the same disc. Same spine number film. Anyway. The Lower Depths from 1957, directed by Akira Kurosawa. No tagline for this, but we have the plot of residents of a rundown boarding house in 19th century Japan, including a mysterious old man and an aging actor, get drawn into a love triangle that turns violent. When a moral thief, Sudakichi, breaks off his affair with landlady Osuji to romance her younger sister, Okayo, Osuji extracts her revenge by revealing her infidelity to her jealous husband.
Wow. Is that how it happened?
It's in so many words. So this movie, RJ, there came a point where I checked the time.
Was it at like 18 minutes by chance?
No, it was like around what I thought was 1 hour and 55 minutes into the movie.
Sure.
But it turned out to be 55 minutes into the movie. So there came a point, because I apparently like misread what the timer said, where I'm like, oh, this movie is going to end in 6 minutes.
You're like, awesome.
Sweet. And then it kept going, and then it kept going, and then I was getting like angry. And like,
because
like
it's
what?
So long.
Because it's so like, it is a fucking play. Apparently they rehearsed this motherfucker for 60 days. And they like, so Kurosawa, big fan of Gorky, big fan,
big Gorky guy.
He's like, he always wanted to adapt some Gorky. And he's
real
like,
Gorkhead, that guy.
Big Gorkhead. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the Lower Depths, and he sure did. And he's like, I'm gonna make it more like the play. It's going to be like very Kurosawa. It's just going to be like this miserable, and like the characters are going to be like kind of like these like comedic poor people wallowing in their own filth and shit, I guess. And it's just going to be that for fucking 2 hours.
Sure.
And it's going to feel like it. It's going to feel like it, like you're hanging out with them. And then we're going to slap this other shit with like Toshiro Mifune in there. We're going to make him a romantic lead, because this guy, like, he's Toshiro Mifune.
He sells.
He does not look like he belongs here. But Kurosawa definitely like nails filthy.
Oh yeah. Like some of the characters, like that lady who's barely alive, when you see her come into the flophouse, you're like, holy shit. You're like, did they get that lady from like a palliative ward? Like, she doesn't look good.
No.
You know that, like she dies, doesn't she? Like in real life. Yeah, some of those people like look rough, and then like the shitty guys that are like just covered in actual shit, and you're like, whoa, these dudes look rough.
It truly feels like it's the Lower Depths.
Sure it does. Sure. No. This elevator only goes down. Someone made an awful mess down there, Jarrett.
So RJ, how do you feel about like people arguing and just talking in like a matter-of-fact way for 2 hours?
So my my one note of this movie that isn't just for a screenshot is it's a bottle episode. It's like a bottle episode of a TV show.
It feels cheap, right? Like there's something about this, like because it's like very stripped down production. Like there's some establishing shots of the boarding house. Like there's just kind of like this long panning of like the sky, I guess, establishing that you're like on the ground looking up, and then it pans around the edges, and then you're pretty well locked into place for like gotta be like it's like an hour that you're just in this, and you're waiting. You're like, huh. Are we going to change things up at any point? Are we going to transition somewhere else? No.
Does it ever happen?
No, not really. It kind of does. I think we do step outside the boarding house a little bit for a little bit of like non-boarding house action, because with cinema you can actually explore space. Yeah. Not just be locked into your play format. But that all being said, I hated this. This is the worst Kurosawa movie that we've watched.
Oh, really?
I think. What's in the competition though?
Well, neither of us were big fans of Redbeard, but we thought that was fine.
Yeah, that movie's fine. Whereas I actually think this is like a bad Kurosawa movie.
Wow. Wow.
And I don't know, and it's like it actually elevated Renoir's Lower Depths for me, which apparently when Renoir watched the Lower Depths, like in like 1977, I guess he was like, "Oh man, this is real movie making. This is
his or Kurosawa's?
No, Kurosawa's." Okay, and no, he was like apparently he thought very highly of this, and he said, "Yeah, this seems like a lot better." Even like the film essay that accompanies Renoir's Lower Depths in the Criterion booklet, it specifically mentions like it seems like, oh yeah, this movie's like nothing special. It's only included because of we really want to get that Kurosawa out there. We got to get that Lower Depths because he's so great.
And I mean, such a good double bill, Renoir and Kurosawa.
See, to me, this is like this made me think of Bergman and the Magic Flute, where there is something about like Henry V, this like stagey shit that like I fucking hate. I hate it. I never want to look at this ever again. This was not a good time. This is like 3.5 hours of between these two movies, and again, there's elements of them that are okay. Yeah, but on the whole, my God,
which whole?
The like a donut.
Oh, okay.
But there's something missing in the middle.
I see what
its core is missing. It's a Timbit.
Oh wow!
And you're wondering where's the Timbit? Maybe that tastes better than this donut because it's like a 2-day-old donut, and there's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. Sorry, I cut you off. On which hole you were saying?
On the whole. These Lower Depths. I don't know. I feel like the ideas of Maxim Gorky, this exploration has been done more successfely in other forms. I mean, I'll fucking watch Harmony Korine's Gummo any day of the week. Oh, I think that says more to me. I think about class and
living in squalor.
More interesting depiction cinematically than this. All these movies feel very staged, and because they're plays, of course, but they just feel so removed from what they should be. Like there's no they just feel like old movies, which is like, I guess, damning. It makes me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Maybe you should stick to Spider-Man.
Y'all don't like old movies, and it's like, yeah, sometimes I don't, because these feel like really like removed. Even for 1957, these feel dated to me for this one. And Lower Depths was like 1936. It actually feels very typical, but Lower Depths, I don't know. It's just like this approach. Like it feels like one of those like NBC made for TV dramas. It's obviously Kurosawa, and it's shot really well at times. Like some of the black and white photography is really good, and he's doing. It's not like he called it in. I just didn't like. I don't like this.
Good.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah,
that's about it. That's about all I've got for this, because it's the same fucking thing. It's just people arguing, the landlords, people banging each other. There's lynchings, people being dragged out, chased around, mob killed, anonymously killed, Spartacus, and And then even then, there's people who are kind of like, who gives a shit? And people talk about how jaw-droppingly dark and nihilistic the ending is. And I'm just kind of like,
I mean, I don't really think so. But I think part of that might be because you knew it was coming too, right?
Like, yes, maybe.
Because I did. Like, I mean, I was like, I don't know, maybe everyone else knows it's coming too, and it still hits you right in the dick there. But I don't know. I knew it was coming the whole time, so when I was just waiting for it to happen. It was like, when's it gonna happen?
Yep.
When's he gonna do it? I think the one thing that I think is I do actually kind of like. It's kind of goofy, but the way it's presented, where it's like he just killed himself, and then it's like hard black end or the end, like that's it. There's no like, or there's like one other line. He's like, man, that guy really killed the party, and then it just the end.
Yeah, that is true.
So but
it's like I'm not like, oh man, that's harsh. It's like
it's kind of goofy, but I liked it, but not because. I like nihilistic stuff. I didn't find it like that at all. I was just like, it's kind of goofy. I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Man, that dude really killed the party, man. The end. No, I didn't think that you would particularly care for either of these, but I am actually a little surprised at how much you dislike this one, which is fine. I think that's good. It's like I said earlier, I think if you cherry picked elements of each of them together, there would be a really good movie. But as they stand individually, I don't think either of them are
successful. Yeah,
like there's parts of the Renoir one that I really like. Like I like the friendship and a few of those things. And there's parts of the Kurosawa one I like. I'm pretty much I'm not as down as you are, but I'm pretty much there with you too on this one. I do like how grim it is at times, where it is just like miserable people telling each other to eat shit. They're like, who fucking cares? They're like, we're all homeless and we're all gonna die. You're just like, damn, yeah, Kurosawa really wanted just like sad, depressive, homeless people for this movie. So I admire it for those reasons. But it has some of the same problems as the other one. Like I know they're big gork heads, but I didn't like the main aspect where it's just like he's a thief and he is entangled with the landlords. Like I don't care about it in either of the movies. This one, it's more of it's definitely more of a presence. Like in Renoir's, I don't think it matters at all. This one, it's like, okay, this actually plays into the story a little bit, but still, it's kind of like, like I don't know. This one's got a lot of heavy bitches getting thrown down on this. Lots of screen caps. That bitch. That what was the one? Slam whore. Said you're a 2-bit slam whore. I was like,
yeah.
What? So that one was fun. The one thing I do like in this movie is I do like the old actor, because I just think that guy's interesting to look at. Like I got a screenshot of him where he's like wowing before he goes and ends it all. And so I like a couple of the characters in this, and I do like, I mean, these dudes just living in like a barn basically, and you're just like, damn, that's cool. So but yeah, I think it's got some issues too. And like you said, Toshiro Mifune, he doesn't really fit because he's too handsome and attractive, and he's so well spoken. You're like, you're way better than any of these people. You should, well, not better, but it's like you don't fit in with some of these other guys who, like that lady who's literally dying on screen, who gets brought in. You're just like, yeah, that lady fits into the to the scene. But yeah, some of the other scenes, it's the same kind of thing. Like you just get lost, like watching it. You're just like, what is going on? Like, not that any of it's complicated. But it's more like, why are we here? Why is this part of this movie? You know? I will say though, Jarrett, one thing I liked, those old guys' music. Oh. I thought that song slapped. I was just kind of like watching the actual song. I was like, God damn, this thing's got rhythm.
Someone's got to take that footage and just put some new tunes on top.
Oh, I dug the tunes, but those scenes are too long because the dance.
This whole movie is too fucking long.
Yeah, 205 is way too long. Because I was actually the same as you, where I think I stopped it at 1:10, and I was just like, oh fuck. I was like, there's half of this movie left, and I think I went and I made a sandwich, and you know, as you do. This movie is really long, and the drunken dancing singing, it lasts too long.
Yeah.
But the song slaps.
Yeah.
It slaps, Jared. But yeah, so I think on the whole, there's when you watch them together, you're like, there's good parts of a story here. But I think if you watched either of these individually, I don't think you'd get much of anything out of them.
Yeah. I'm just,
very average.
Yeah, I would, I don't know. It'd be a real toss-up which, is this better or worse than Ingmar Bergman makes a movie? Oh,
you're going down there even, hey?
Yeah, 100% I am.
Both of them are just Kurosawa's?
Kurosawa's.
Yeah.
I think it's just like for the stature, and like people seem to be pretty easy on this one. I'm just like, no. Just because he directed Rashomon doesn't mean that everything gets a pass. And hell, I mean, Rashomon's not even as good as High and Low. Yeah,
that's true. It's very true. Yeah, I do agree with you though. Where when you watch Kurosawa, the Renoir one, you're like, hey man, there's some good stuff there.
Damn,
this dude hates Kurosawa. See, you know,
part of the thing too is like I feel like we've been on a real run of like media, like not even mediocre movies since like Scenes from a Marriage.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like Leopard, like looked amazing, but too long. And also like I do again. I'm talking about old movies. Not want to watch old movies, and way too many fucking subtitles.
Oh yeah. Well, we're in a really bad.
And it's still a ways away.
No, we still have like 2 months before we hit a color English movie. And like, see, that's the thing. People are like, well, you can't read subtitles. It's like, no, we can. But it's like when you do it for like every movie for like 4 months in a row, it gets a little tiresome.
Yeah. Well, we got a month till Slacker. And even that's like lo-fi.
Well, it's like, yeah, Slacker's not.
Lo-fi Americana. And
nothing to scream about.
But then Videodrome.
And Big David himself is going to come on, and I mean that's going to be refreshing. Refreshing. What was I going to say? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's weird, these movies. I think I definitely was a little bit easier than you are towards them, but I completely understand your hate and your anger towards these films.
Anger. Well, you know what that leads to?
Suffering, my man.
And the dark side.
Yeah, and you're pretty much there. So you're pretty much there.
No. Yeah, this disc can just get tossed into the pile of no thanks.
Yeah, at least they were on the channel this time actually, and they were easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever.
Yeah. So will you be rewatching either of these movies in your lifetime? So that good.
I would watch. I would like to watch more movies with the Baron in them, though. I would do that over rewatching either of these.
Right.
Just to check out the Baron doing his bird thing.
You want to hear about who also hates these movies? I don't.
Sure.
I don't. Yeah. I am just like, yeah.
That's fine.
The Kurosawa depths, I think, is the one that I'm like, man, this is just going too far for me.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, and also expecting a movie to end in 6 minutes and it goes on for another hour and 6 minutes. That's a hard pill to swallow.
It's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
It's a very long film.
Yeah. So first up for Renoir, we'll go with Yusaku.
Yusaku.
2.5 stars. Some of the us jumped ahead a little bit, but there's not too many low ratings. You got it. Its cinematography has a taste of Citizen Kane, though it's not really deep focus. The use of foreground, middle ground, and background is pretty remarkable. I wonder if Orson Welles watched this film before he made Citizen Kane. That being said, the film falls behind his other masterpieces.
Dude really loves Citizen Kane. What's that about? You know what I mean, Jer?
Well, I mean, like I said, Orson Welles thought, I think Jean Renoir was the greatest director.
Allegedly. This person's got like some pretty bad takes. They gave one of Sam Sanchez's favorite movies, The Mummy, a half a star. The Brendan Fraser Mummy. That's right.
What?
They gave Final Destination a half a star. It's a good show. They only have 11 5-star films, and it looks like every one of Denis Villeneuve's movies. So maybe they're big Canadian boys. Like they got Ace on D, Polytechnic, Scott Pilgrim, which I think was filmed in Canada. And
Tirana.
So Denis Villeneuve and Canadian or French. They also have blue is the warmest color. Which is so Canadian or French is what this person's all about, I guess.
Another one, Jennings.
Okay.
Don't really have much to say about this one. The comic portrayals of the classics just isn't interesting to me.
Don't watch it then, you know?
There's not too much salt on this movie. I feel like not a lot of people are watching this Renoir.
Probably not. Jennings did has Hidden Fortress as one of their favorite movies, though. So you know what that means. They probably commented that on our review. What do you mean it's not Star Wars? It's not.
Watch this video for comparison.
This person's got some good films in their 5 stars. Mulholland Drive, Akira, Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Wow.
The Exorcist 3, Jarrett, 5 stars. You know what I'm talking about. Funny Games, 5 stars. Man, they almost had me with that one. They only have 10 half-star films. No, that's all shit. Never mind. But they just gave Scoob a half a star. Scoob doesn't look like a half-star film. You know Scoob?
No.
There's a new Scooby-Doo movie that just came out. It's called Scoob.
Oh, no. I didn't know about that at all.
Didn't know about Scoob. Damn.
Switching over to Kurosawa. 8.
Okay.
We have Effie the Free Elf.
Okay.
I wonder what Effie's got to say about anything, but 2 stars. It's a good film, only very hard to watch. Why?
What does that mean?
It's hard to watch not only because the audience would have a difficult time with empathizing with any of the characters, but they'd probably also hate the sound design, the long trivial conversations with old alcoholics talking nonsense and women screaming. The plot structure is also unconventional. Nobody evolves, which proves to the point that these jobless poor people are living in hell. Even the landlord and the police-like uncle behave vulgarly and disgracefully. They are not any richer than each other. There are diseases, death, greed, gambling, viciousness. The wise old man who embodies Buddhism cannot help much.
Fuck.
That's it. Effie.
Damn. I believe Effie is Chinese because on their Letterboxd page it says translate from Chinese.
Okay.
I don't know if that's Cantonese or the other one.
Mandarin?
But, yeah, Mandarin. That's right. They don't have a lot of ratings. The only 5-star films there's some Chinese ones, and then there's High and Low and Harry Carey. Oh, and A Woman is a Woman. Weirdly enough.
Wow.
It's strange.
Maybe they're going in order.
Yeah, could be.
One more. The Movie Vampire.
Ooh, that's a good name.
This is 2 stars. Rewatched.
Damn.
I wouldn't say that The Lower Depths is the worst of Akira Kurosawa's movies, as he had some early films that could pretty clearly be called worse. But of the movies he made in his classic period, it's certainly my least favorite. That's a polite way of saying it, I guess. That's
sure.
Nice. My least favorite. This film is an adaptation of a Maxim Gorky play, making it one of the several adaptations of Russian classics that Kurosawa found himself making over the course of his career. But this is the one that is perhaps most indebted to its source material in that it is not in any way trying to pretend it isn't a play on screen, and as such it feels stagey in a way that his Shakespeare adaptations never did. I must confess some level of ignorance about Gorky's play, which thanks to the Red Scare is one that I don't think has ever really had the prominence in popular culture that the works of Ibsen or Chekhov have had in American intellectual circles, and I suspect that if I knew the source better, I'd be a bit more interested in the changes that Kurosawa made to make it fit into Japan's Edo period. But
of course,
as it is, the story just sort of feels like this claustrophobic and rather depressing exercise in human misery mixed with a couple of neat tragicomic touches. Great last line, though.
What? He really ruined a good party?
No.
So all the 5-star films, it's just Criterion stuff, and like it even looks like maybe they were going in order. They gave The Leopard 5 stars. So, but they gave Tokyo Drifter 1 star, Jarrett. So just because it's Criterion doesn't mean they absolutely love it. But this person doesn't like the Final Destination movies either, and which is whatever. But they gave Curse of the Werewolf with Oliver Reed 1 star, and that movie is awesome, real awesome, Jarrett. They also gave Death Wish 1 star. You know about Death Wish?
I guess this person doesn't like those lowbrow genre pictures.
I guess. They also gave Blair Witch 2 a 0.5 star,
That's fine.
I mean, I think it's better than that, but...
Ugh, man, I could barely get 5 minutes into it.
Yeah. Okay, well, whatever, you know. A lot of, hey, I just saw Thomas Pashko gave review 2-star, Kurosawa greater than Gorky.
Oh.
Man, there's a lot of Gorky heads on Letterboxd, eh?
People like talking about Gorky.
I've never heard of Gorky before this week, Jarrett. Does that make me a bad dude? A lot of Gorky simps in the world. Damn.
Man, what a guy.
Man, I just see Smash the TV gave Kurosawa's Lower Depths 3 stars, and Ruben Barbosa gave it 3.5 stars. Man, they're going to be shattered by your review, Jarrett. Shattered.
Or indifferent.
Yeah, because, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember either of these movies next week.
Nope.
So, what are you going to do?
We'll just keep on forging ahead.
I guess.
Spine number at a time. In order of release. And then one day we'll have our big final release from this prison.
Someone suggested that our final release will be a live episode in which we both actually pull the plug live on air.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe for episode 300.
Ooh.
Something to look forward to.
What are we at right now?
I don't know, like 20 something, 206 or 208.
I think this is 210.
Maybe episode 250.
That's a long way. That's a while away. I don't want to be alive that much longer.
Well, we can work on that.
Any final thoughts here on these low depths?
I think they're both fine.
I don't. You don't even sound convincing at all that these are fine.
I think they're fine.
These are subpar.
It's like I said, watching them together, there's good parts that are almost one real good movie.
That sounds terrible. It sounds like a waste of time.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't recommend other people
this. Yeah, right? Like, this is kind of what I'm getting at is why would you watch this stuff? Like, why would you watch this? Like, there's like all the movies that exist in the world. And you're like, oh yeah, you should definitely watch this one. This is like when we really make you wonder, my time could have been better spent. It's like, well, then they're bad. Just like, unless you're like a Kurosawa completionist, don't watch this. Unless you're a genre noir completionist, don't watch it. If you're really a big Gork head, I guess you'll probably like this more because you're invested. But if you don't care about either of these things, don't watch it.
What about the sadists that are doing what we're doing?
Well, we're idiots.
Yeah, we are. Hey, you thought the Bergman stands in Simps were mad last week. Wait until the Kurosawa stands come after you.
There's no samurais in this. They only care about samurais. They don't like poor people.
There was they had samurai clothes.
And what, like armor?
No, that one dude, he had a sword at one point, and he was talking about how he was like a failed samurai.
That's right.
So just wait until that hatred comes your way, buddy. Bucko.
After the break, Jarrett hangs himself because he watched these fucking things
live on episode 300.
But and RJ just goes, "Hey, you ruined a perfectly good podcast."
Ruined a perfectly good podcast. Cut to black.
Go to the menu.
Finn.